Welcome back, everybody. This is the Pissed Rhino Show. Today we're going to go over the finished TRX4M build, purple TRX4M. This guy's got all the good stuff, so I want to go through and tell you guys exactly what's in it, so that you can either do one like it, or at least get a tip or trick or something for your next build. So here we go. So the chassis is basically the Endura Tarantula. I cut off the entire front and the rear because it's unnecessary and it gets in the way of servos. And plus, I lengthen the front and the rear so it would look really weird anyway. So, I do it at joints, and especially where I can put a crossbar. So down here at the bottom, you can see there's a crossbar. Let me put this guy inside here. I put a crossbar here, and then that's where I cut the body. Same thing with the rack. Put a cross brace here, and then that's where I cut the body. In the front, you can't see it, but same thing. The only unsupported cut I do is right here, but those really don't need to be there anyway. But I keep them there because it is a joint, and I don't want to just have my front end looking like it's hanging in the air, which it could, and still function perfectly, but I think I take off enough. So after the chassis, let's start at the bottom. So not the axles, but so we've got Endura high trail, high clearance links. And what I do is I use high trail, high clearance rear links, both in the front and the rear. You can see these are both the exact same length. Now normally the front's really short and then the back's long. That's the normal, short and long. But here it's symmetrical. Everything's the same, front to rear. We've got rear high trail axle, rear high trail axle. So basically what this means you got to do is you got to buy two sets of everything. Two sets of axles, two sets of links, and two steering axles. Yeah, we'll get into those later. But you can see that it's the exact same front to back. And using these stainless steel ones, it really makes it stand out with the purple. So that's my thought behind that. This is an oh boy, I guess you can say high clearance, but high clearance transmission plate. It flush mounts kinda. It doesn't stick way down like they normally do. So this transmission plate is what allows me to run the same links front and rear, because the holes, the mounting points are the exact same. On a stock one, they're not the same. So this transmission plate allows me to do front and rear in the same length. Otherwise, you try to do it, which I have in the past, and I've found a solution, but I don't want to do it again. Your servo will be rotated forward. Yeah, forward, because these links go back further. Anyway, it's a mess. So it's great to have this transmission plate. So, and he 3D prints that. I tell you what though, this one is printed better than you know, any of the others. So he did a great job. He's really honing in his manufacturing process of these, and you can tell it in the part for sure. If we go to the axle, this is a Treal steering axle. I'll get more over here in front of the camera. Treal steering axle. It's got same gears front and rear. I didn't do the overdrive and underdrive. I didn't do that on this one. And it seems to crawl fairly well, so I would leave it just like it is. It's got purple Treal diff covers. You gotta have those, right? I will say Treal makes the best purple stuff. So if you want to build a purple truck, you gotta get with Treal. It has brass portals. I'm pretty sure they're 1-to-1 out of the box. So there's no reduction, but there's the extra ground clearance. And that's why most people use them on these, is because of the ground clearance. You can see we've got pretty good rotation and flex. Everything moves. I mean, it moves great. It's got plenty of play there. If we tip the axle over, I've got Endura servo mount attached to it, and then of course the Endura links that go with it. You can see the mounts on the portals. On top of the mount, servo mount from Endura, we have NSDRC RS100 Micro. Now these are the best servos available for this size. I mean, they'll take you anywhere, and they've got great speed, great torque. Just a perfect fit for this kind of application. We got the TRX4M servo horn on there. You do have to buy that separately, or you can buy it in kit form from NSDRC. Don't go looking around on Amazon trying to find the perfect servo horn, because 90% don't ever fit right. So just check I think it's what, $6, $7. Take the $7, maybe not even that. I don't know, $4. Just spend the extra money for that. That way you don't have to worry about it. So you can see we've got the same thing front and rear. Same exact setup. So from the servo to the shocks, all the way underneath is all the same. Since we're up to the shocks, let's talk about the tires. We've got our purple Treal wheels. These are real bead locks. You have to do all of these to get the tire in correctly. And we're running some DJ Crawler tires. Now these are the cheaper ones, but they're super sticky. I don't like the way the side does, but that's just how they are. But the big thing, these have the rubber foamies in there now, and they're really nice, really nice. So the tires will not be a problem at crawling. The only problem I see with this one, and this is out of pure preference, I left the springs in for now, but if I take this out on the rocks, I would remove the springs. it gives you a much slower center of gravity, and it just works better. So, but these are Treal purple shocks. Look fantastic on there. By the way, all the purple colors match. I mean, it's ridiculous. All these come from different suppliers, and the purple matches. You can't do that with blue. Sometimes you can with red, but in this situation, purple, come on. I modified the hood. As you can see, this usually has an intake on it. But since I cut the front frame off, I had to modify the hood to fit my new design. Doors are the same. All of this has just been shrink wrapped, not shrink wrapped, but vinyl wrap. And I mean, it looks fantastic. Inside, you'll see the purple Treal transmission. Inside that transmission are the Injora crawling gears. They're stainless steel ones. If you look further inside the cab, you'll see an interesting... So what I did here, and it looks odd. I know it looks odd. I gotta fix this too. Man, it's trying to melt. Yeah, I gotta fix that location. But these are at an angle and weird and held up by stacks of sticky double-sided foam. The reason is because I wanted to have a nice, clean battery compartment, so I can stick my batteries in there and not have to worry about them. So as you can see, you can't really see the other things sticking out, but they're kind of mounted to the floor. The worst one is this ESC, the way I have it mounted. I don't know. Man, I'd like to do it straighter. I don't know if I can get it to stay. But, yeah, that's a little better maybe. But the switch is right here, and I got the wires crossing. I don't like that. The wires, there's really nowhere for these to go. They're just not. And you can't put a cover strip on them because they're so tight in here. I mean, you got your receiver on one side, your ESC on the other, so you get the wires crossing. And that's very difficult to clean up in this, small cab type vehicle. Now, if you put your ESC and receiver back here where the battery goes, maybe it's better, maybe it's not. I've done that before. I've mounted the ESC all the way back. It made it easy to get to the on-off switch. But when you stuck the battery in, it was basically just hanging out both sides of the window. And just looked really stupid. But I don't know. I've tried this. I think we'll just see how it works out. If it needs to be changed later, I'll be glad to do that. So, all right. So we kind of touched on the last thing here, and that's the support braces here. I've got several of them. I got one back here holding the shock mounts, one up front just as an added support, one down below as an added support, and then a really big one that holds the whole chassis together. instead of a piece of flimsy plastic. Up front, I've got one as well. If you look through, you can see the purple rod. That's the last one. And that one just happens to hold the front shock mounts. So all 4 shock mounts are contained by metal. So the shock mounts aren't going to move. Well, I take that back. If the screws get loose, they will move. But all you got to do is tighten that up. But what I'm saying is they're not going to bend. They're not going to break. It makes everything a lot stronger than just having the tarantula kit. Also, the battery tray in here, the carbon fiber, that's from Endura as well. Basically, everything on this vehicle is Treal, Endura, or NSDRC, or Furatech. Those are the only 4 types of materials in this thing. Except for the rods. All these rods come from different places. To me, that's the hardest part of the damn thing, is getting all my support braces ahead of time. You can see the purple screws I use. So all that's got to be coordinated. Got a good flex on it. It's got the stock light bar. It looks good. It is bright as hell. And you'll see that in a video coming up next. I'm adding on to this video with another video that I just made of it, me testing it. So you'll get to see that at the end of this video. See it roll around a little bit. But yeah, she's a beaut. I mean, I've made one similar to this, but I used brass links and a few other things that I didn't like. This one is exactly how I would build it. You know, for me, for mass production, for anybody else. This, if somebody wanted the best TRX4M, I would make them this. So I told you guys I was going to come back with product specific videos, and this is the one for the TRX4M. My next one will be I call it the basher infraction, but people are getting pissed because it's too badass to be a basher. So I'll be doing that video sometime, maybe this weekend, maybe tomorrow. And then the big boy single motor. The single motor, I'm having issues with the motor, so I sent that back. We'll see what New Speed does with that. You know, obviously that upsets me pretty much, but then I think I'm going to go with TP power motors for the bigger. So I'm not going to have to worry about it. Just depends on how they take care of me here. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you back here again next time on the Rhino Show. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Welcome back to the Rhino Show. Now I'm going to test out the little buggy here. I just set up this in my transmitter. Please don't look at the wiring. It's just I got both receivers in there, and it's just a mess right now. It'll be much prettier as soon as I get a chance to Clean it up a little bit. So it's got the ability to go really slow. And then we got crab walk mode. Then we got just the front. And look how fast that is. The servo's killing it. None faster than that right there. We also have the rear. Just as fast. And back to all-wheel steering. I don't know what I got laying around here. You can stop it millimeters above the ground and then gently. And then let's go fast over it. What do I got? Get out some of my screw packs. That way these things don't move. I mean, that's smooth right there, guys. There's no cogging, nothing. And then it stops instantly. I will point this out. The light bar does work just fine, but it's bright as fuck, and I'm not turning it back on because it is bright. got good flex. Let's see if it can hit the ground. Oh, I think it's going to center out on the differential. Oh, we got there. Oh, the rear wheel's already up on the case. I mean, these tires have the new rubberized things in them, not foam, and they are grippy. All right. What else? So that shows the steering all set up. The motors work. The motor works fantastic. And the ESC has great control. Probably some of the better control that I've seen from the Furatechs. Gosh. Oh. Let's see. That's what I get for being clumsy. There you go. I got this one box here. I'm not sure if it'll go straight up this or not, but we're gonna find out. I'm gonna put all the screws behind it. Let's see, what do you think? Is it gonna make it or not? And I know this is just straight on. That's all I got right here. I mean, I'm trying to take it at an angle if you want me to, but most guys do the curbs. I don't have a curb in here, but this is just like it. Yeah, I think it's going to center out. It's not going to be able to do it. It's able to go almost vertical without tipping over. Let's see how far. Right there. So that's good. I wasn't able to climb the box, but that's just because it hits this point, so it's too tall for it to. I'm sure I could sidewind it if I wanted to. Obviously, I wasn't being very crawler guy on that one. And see, it's it's wanting to grip. If this stuff wasn't made out of plastic, I bet it would crawl right up it. Anyway, you can see it works really well. I mean, it looks fantastic. Except for all the wires that I gotta do. So yeah, all pretty looking and quite the little beast. I love making these little guys because they always come out so nice. And this is a lightweight version. It's probably the perfect weight. Not too heavy for sure, and not too light either. I mean, so. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on the Rhino Show. Thanks, everybody.